The message that flashed across the quantum communications array of Earth's Interstellar Relations Center wasn't just unexpected, it was unprecedented. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting the shimmer of alien script as it transformed into Earth Standard English. To the developing world of Earth, the Galactic Council extends an invitation to participate in the Millennial Exhibition of Evolutionary Excellence. Each sentient species shall present their apex predators in demonstration of their world's advancement. Let all witness the pinnacle of natural selection across the cosmos. Sarah ran her fingers through her short black hair, a habit she'd developed during her 15 years of predator behavioral research. Around her, the other members of Earth's Xenobiological Advisory Committee burst into excited chatter. This was humanity's first invitation to a major galactic event since achieving faster-than-light travel capability 3 years ago. High Counselor Zixtal's scaled face appeared in a separate communication window, his expression carrying what Sarah had learned to recognize as diplomatic condescension. We understand if Earth wishes to decline. Your world's predators are quaint by galactic standards. Perhaps observation status would be more appropriate. Before anyone else could respond, Sarah stepped forward. Earth accepts the invitation, High Counselor. The alien's phosphorescent eye membranes flickered in what might have been amusement. Bold, though perhaps unwise, you should know that the Vreks of Centauri 7 will be presenting their plasma phase hunters. The Anxthuri bring their quantum-entangled swarm predators. What could Earth possibly offer to match such evolutionary achievements? Sarah smiled, thinking of the research facility she'd called home for the past decade. Something different. Something that might surprise you. After the transmission ended, the committee erupted in protest. Dr. Chen, you can't be serious. Director Williams slammed his hand on the table. Our terrestrial predators are primitive compared to what's out there. This will be humiliating. Sarah activated her personal display, bringing up footage from her research facility in the Canadian Rockies. With respect, Director, you're missing the point. They're expecting us to compete on their terms, to present the biggest teeth, the deadliest venom, the most efficient killing machines. But Earth evolved something far more interesting. The footage showed Sarah working with her pack, 12 gray wolves she'd raised from pups. On screen, they moved through complex training exercises, demonstrating coordination that seemed almost supernatural. The pack split and reformed, herded target drones, and solved environmental challenges as a single organism. Other worlds evolved individual super-predators, Sarah explained. Earth took a different path. We evolved social hunters, predators that understand cooperation, strategy, and adaptation. And then, she smiled. Earth produced something unprecedented in the galaxy, a species that could partner with these hunters, us. The committee watched as Sarah's footage showed the wolves responding to subtle hand signals, working in concert with human handlers to overcome obstacles that neither species could manage alone. The galaxy evolved monsters, she said. Earth evolved partnerships. Director Williams frowned. You want to showcase wolves against plasma phase hunters. I want to showcase the thing that made humanity unique in the galaxy. Our ability to form bonds with other species, to turn predators into partners. Sarah brought up more footage, this time showing the pack undertaking complex search and rescue operations. These aren't just wolves anymore. They're an extension of human intelligence combined with lupine instinct. No other species in the galaxy has achieved anything like it. The committee members exchanged glances. They'd all read the reports from other worlds, seen the holos of bioengineered horrors and energy-based hunters. Earth's natural predators seemed primitive in comparison, but there was something compelling about what Sarah was showing them. The exhibition is in 3 months, Sarah continued. Give me that time with my pack. Let me show the galaxy that Earth's contribution to evolution isn't just in creating better killers. It's in building bridges between species. Admiral Chen, no relation to Sarah, but a consistent supporter of unconventional approaches, leaned forward. What exactly are you proposing, Doctor? Sarah's eyes lit up with the same intensity she showed when working with her pack. A demonstration of true partnership, not just obedience training or simple tricks. I want to show them how humans and wolves together can outthink, outmaneuver, and outperform any single predator species. The galaxy thinks they've mastered evolution by creating perfect killers. I want to show them that Earth mastered something far more powerful: cooperation across species barriers. She pulled up one final piece of footage, her pack working together to bring down a training drone twice the size of any individual wolf. Their coordination was flawless, each member anticipating the other's moves, working with a complexity that made their actions look choreographed. This is what Earth can offer the galaxy. Not the biggest teeth or the deadliest venom, but something they've never seen before: two species thinking and hunting as one. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Earth had spent years trying to prove itself to the galactic community, always feeling a step behind in technology, in biological advancement, in evolutionary achievement. But maybe, just maybe, they'd been looking at it wrong all along. 3 months, Sarah repeated. Give me 3 months to prepare, and I'll show the galaxy something that will change their understanding of what evolution can achieve. Director Williams studied the footage for a long moment, then nodded slowly. We'd be approaching the competition from an entirely different angle. Instead of trying to match their super predators, we show them something they've never imagined. Sarah finished. A predator species that turned cooperation into an art form, paired with a tool-using species that learned to think like a wolf. Apart, we're interesting but unexceptional. Together, she let the thought hang in the air. The committee voted unanimously to approve her proposal. As Sarah left the meeting, her mind was already racing with preparation plans. She'd need to intensify the pack's training, develop new demonstrations of their capabilities, prove that their hunting prowess wasn't just about physical attributes, but about something far more sophisticated. Her communicator buzzed with a message from the facility. The pack was restless today, sensing something different in the air. Sarah smiled. Soon, they would show the galaxy what Earth's evolution had really achieved. Not super predators or biological weapons, but something far more revolutionary: predator and prey species working together, turning their combined capabilities into something greater than the sum of their parts. The galaxy wasn't ready for what Earth was about to show them. They were expecting monsters, but Sarah and her pack would show them something far more impressive: the power of trust between species. Let them bring their plasma phase hunters and quantum swarms. Earth would show them that true evolutionary success wasn't measured in killing power, but in the ability to turn ancient enemies into allies. The real question wasn't whether Earth's predators could match the galaxy's monsters. The question was whether the galaxy was ready to understand what Earth had achieved. In 3 months, they would find out. The Galactic Exhibition Center on Proxima Centauri's fourth moon loomed before Sarah like a crystalline cathedral to evolution itself. Through the transparent walls, she could see the gathered representatives of over 300 spacefaring civilizations, each bringing what they considered the pinnacle of predatory advancement. The holding area for Earth's delegation stood empty except for Sarah and her pack. Unlike the massive containment units around them, humming with force fields and temporal stasis generators, her space needed nothing more than reinforced walls and her presence. The 12 wolves lay in a loose circle around her, alert but calm, their gray and silver coats gleaming under the artificial light. Rather primitive containment measures, wouldn't you say? The voice belonged to Supreme Hunter Kovacs of the Theory, his crystalline form refracting light as he approached. Though I suppose with such basic specimens, you hardly need more. Sarah watched as Alpha, her lead wolf, raised his head to study the alien with intelligent eyes. Basic is a matter of perspective, Supreme Hunter. I notice your quantum swarm requires 3 layers of containment fields. Kovacs's crystalline structure flickered with what might have been amusement. Necessary precautions. My hunters exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously. One cannot simply contain them with physical barriers. He gestured to a nearby enclosure where shadow-like forms flickered in and out of existence. They hunt through probability itself. Impressive, Sarah acknowledged, though it seems rather energy-intensive for hunting prey. Energy efficiency is hardly the point of evolutionary excellence, Kovacs replied. The point is to demonstrate the ultimate achievement in predatory advancement. Speaking of which, he turned his crystalline gaze to the wolves. These are earth dogs, yes. Domesticated hunters, hardly what one would call apex predators. Sarah smiled as Beta, her second in command, silently padded to her side. These are wolves, actually, and they're not domesticated. They're partners. There's a difference. Before Kovacs could respond, an alarm blared through the holding area. Sarah recognized the sound from the briefing materials, a containment breach. Down the corridor, chaos erupted as a massive, serpentine creature with plasma for blood slithered free of its enclosure. The Vrex hunter. Someone shouted. The stasis field has failed. Sarah watched as other delegates rushed to secure their specimens, reinforcing containment fields and activating backup systems. The plasma snake, a creation of Centauri 7's evolutionary engineers, left scorch marks on the floor as it moved, its body temperature hot enough to melt standard hull metal. Without taking her eyes off the creature, Sarah whispered, "Spread and contain." Her pack moved instantly, flowing out in a practiced formation that had taken years to perfect. Alpha and Beta took the flanks while the others created a loose semicircle, cutting off the creature's escape routes. Dr. Chen. Kovacs's voice held genuine alarm. You can't possibly mean to engage that creature. It's a plasma phase hunter, evolved to survive in stellar coronas. Your primitive canines will be incinerated. Sarah's voice remained calm as she watched her pack move. Watch and learn what Earth's evolution really achieved. The plasma snake struck, its body arcing through the air like a solar flare. But the wolves were already moving, coordinating with a precision that made them seem like a single organism. As the snake's head crashed down, the pack split and reformed, never staying still enough to become a target. Notice, Sarah said to Kovacs, who stood transfixed, they're not attacking. They're controlling its movement options, redirecting, containing. Indeed, every time the plasma snake tried to advance in one direction, wolves would appear in its path, forcing it to choose another route. The pack moved like water, flowing around the creature's attacks while steadily guiding it back toward its enclosure. Impossible, Kovacs whispered. The level of coordination is beyond what any single predator species could achieve. Sarah finished. This isn't just about teeth and claws or even plasma blood. This is about 12 minds working as one, each understanding their role in the greater strategy. The plasma snake, growing frustrated, tried to rear up to its full height. That's when Alpha gave a short bark, a signal Sarah had taught him years ago. The pack responded instantly, tightening their circle in perfect synchronization. The snake, finding itself with increasingly limited options, began to retreat toward its enclosure. Sarah stepped forward, her movement drawing the creature's attention. She held its gaze, something she'd learned through years of working with predators. The plasma snake wavered, confronted with something it had never encountered, a prey species that showed neither fear nor aggression, but calm authority. Now, Sarah said quietly. The pack moved as one, closing the final gaps in their formation. The plasma snake, finding itself with only one clear path, slithered back into its enclosure. Sarah activated the emergency containment protocols, restoring the stasis field. The holding area fell silent. Kovacs's crystalline form had shifted to a deeper blue, a sign of deep thought among his species. That was unexpected, he finally said. Sarah knelt to scratch behind Alpha's ears as the pack reformed around her. Earth took a different path than most worlds, she explained. Instead of creating ultimate killing machines, we learned to work with the predators we had, to form partnerships that made both species stronger. She looked around at the gathered aliens and their contained specimens. Your quantum swarms and plasma hunters are incredible achievements in biological engineering. But Earth's wolves achieved something perhaps more remarkable. They learned to think beyond their individual instincts, to coordinate in ways that make them far more than the sum of their parts. And humans? Kovacs asked, what did your species achieve? Sarah smiled as her pack settled around her, alert but relaxed. We achieved something unique in the galaxy. We learned to think like wolves while teaching wolves to think like us. We turned predator and prey into partners. The implications of what they'd witnessed began to ripple through the gathered delegates. Earth hadn't come to showcase a supreme killing machine. They'd come to demonstrate something far more profound: the evolutionary advantage of cooperation across species barriers. As Sarah prepared for the official start of the exhibition, she could feel the shift in how the other delegates viewed her pack. The dismissive glances had turned thoughtful. Earth's entry might not breathe plasma or exist in quantum superposition, but they just demonstrated something that no engineered super predator could match: the ability to think, adapt, and work together as a team. The real competition hadn't even started yet, but Sarah had already achieved her first goal. She'd made them question their assumptions about what made a species truly advanced. Now it was time to show them just how far the partnership between humans and wolves could go. The exhibition's main arena stretched across 2 kilometers of artificially generated environments, from dense jungle to Arctic waste. Hovering platforms carried spectators from hundreds of worlds, their excited chatter creating a symphony of alien languages. Sarah stood at the preparation area, watching as her pack went through their final warm-up routine. The first challenge will test hunting efficiency, announced High Counselor Zixtal from the central platform. Each predator species must demonstrate their ability to track and subdue prey across multiple biomes. Speed, precision, and adaptation are key. Sarah noticed the other competitors making last-minute adjustments to their specimens. The HFY quantum swarm shimmered in and out of reality, while the plasma snake from Centauri 7 coiled with barely contained energy. New arrivals included a crystalline entity that bent light around itself and a swarm of microscopic hunters that moved like a metallic cloud. Rather informal containment, observed a tall, insectoid being next to her, gesturing at her wolves with one of its 4 arms. The Gathric Collective assumes Earth's entry requires no special measures due to its limited capabilities. Sarah watched as Alpha caught her eye, waiting for signals. The bond between them, built over years of trust and training, was something the other competitors couldn't comprehend. We find that mutual trust eliminates the need for containment, she replied. It's more efficient. The first competitor was released into the arena, the quantum swarm. It moved like a living probability cloud, existing in multiple locations simultaneously as it hunted the holographic prey. Its performance was impressive, catching targets across different terrains with mathematical precision. Next came the plasma snake, which simply burned through obstacles to reach its targets, leaving a trail of molten destruction. The crystalline hunter bent space itself, appearing to be meters away from its prey one moment, and striking the next. When Earth's turn came, Sarah stepped forward with her pack. The other competitors had demonstrated raw power, advanced physics, and biological impossibilities. Now it was time to show them something different. Begin, announced Zixtal. Sarah raised her hand slightly, and the pack moved into hunting formation. But unlike the other predators, they didn't immediately chase the holographic prey. Instead, they spread out in a pattern that looked chaotic to observers, but followed a carefully planned strategy. Rather inefficient, the insectoid being commented, "The prey is escaping." Sarah smiled. "Watch." The wolves moved like shadows through the terrain, each taking positions that seemed random until the pattern emerged. They weren't just chasing, they were herding, manipulating the prey's movement options, using the terrain itself as part of their strategy. Alpha gave a low howl, instantly replied to by Beta from another position. The pack was communicating, coordinating their movements with a complexity that began to draw murmurs from the spectators. When they finally moved to take down their targets, it was with a precision that made their actions look choreographed. Remarkable coordination, Kovacs observed from his viewing platform. But surely primitive physical hunters cannot match the efficiency of advanced evolutionary achievements. As if in answer, the simulation changed, presenting new challenges. The holographic prey became more sophisticated, capable of flight, camouflage, and even basic energy shields. The pack adapted instantly, changing their tactics without any visible signal from Sarah. Notice, Sarah explained to the gathering crowd, they're not just hunting. They're problem-solving. Each wolf understands their role in a greater strategy, adapting it based on the situation. The pack demonstrated their capability across every terrain. In the Arctic zone, they used the wind to mask their approach. In the jungle, they separated their quarry from the herd with subtle manipulations of movement and sound. Each successful hunt showed a different aspect of their capabilities. But the true test came when the simulation threw an unexpected challenge. Multiple prey types simultaneously, each requiring different hunting strategies. While other predators had excelled at single targets, they struggled with the complexity of multiple objectives. Sarah's pack split into 3 groups, each adopting different tactics while maintaining coordination with the others. They moved like a single organism with 12 bodies, their strategies adapting in real time based on the changing situation. This is impossible, the insectoid being clicked. The level of coordination, without technological assistance or biological engineering. This is what Earth evolved, Sarah replied. Not the biggest teeth or the most exotic hunting method, but something perhaps more valuable. The ability to think collectively while maintaining individual initiative. The exhibition hall had grown quiet, the spectators transfixed by the display. They'd come expecting to see Earth's primitive hunters embarrass themselves against advanced evolutionary achievements. Instead, they were witnessing something many of them had never considered, the evolutionary advantage of true cooperation. As the pack completed their final demonstration, bringing down a shielded aerial target through a combination of coordinated herding and precise timing, Sarah could see the shock on alien faces. Their own predators were marvels of evolution or engineering, but they were ultimately just sophisticated killing machines. Earth's wolves, in partnership with a human, had demonstrated something far more profound: the ability to adapt, coordinate, and solve complex problems as a unified team. "Your wolves," Kovacs said slowly, his crystalline form shifting through thoughtful colors. "They understand concepts like strategy, complex problem-solving." Sarah nodded as her pack regrouped around her, alert but calm. "They understand more than that. They understand partnership. The pack isn't just 12 wolves. It's 12 wolves plus 1 human, all thinking together, each contributing their unique strengths to the whole." The implications began to sink in among the gathered species. Earth hadn't just presented predators. They demonstrated a completely different approach to evolutionary advancement. While other worlds had focused on creating ultimate killing machines, Earth had developed something perhaps more powerful: the ability to turn ancient enemies into partners, combining the raw hunting prowess of wolves with human strategic thinking. As the judges conferred, Sarah knelt beside Alpha, scratching behind his ears. She could feel the shift in the atmosphere, the way the other competitors now looked at her pack with new eyes. They had come to demonstrate Earth's predators, but they had shown something far more significant: the true power of trust between species. The next phase of the exhibition would test their abilities even further, but Sarah wasn't worried. She and her pack had already succeeded in their primary mission, showing the galaxy that Earth's path of evolution, focused on cooperation rather than domination, was not a weakness but a different kind of strength entirely. The exhibition's final challenge was announced as the artificial sun set over the arena. High Counselor Zixtel's voice echoed across the vast space. "The ultimate test of predatory excellence will begin at dawn. Each competitor must track, hunt, and capture, alive, the shadow-mist behemoth. Holoprojectors activated, showing footage of a massive creature that seemed to phase between solid and gaseous states. Sarah heard sharp intakes of breath from several alien delegates. The behemoth, Kovacs explained, noting her questioning look, is considered one of the most elusive prey species in known space. It can alter its physical state, mask its energy signature, and split into multiple decoys. Many consider it unhuntable. Sarah watched the footage carefully, noting how the creature moved, its patterns of transformation. Around her, her pack studied the projection with equal intensity, their eyes tracking every shift and change. This was why she'd spent years teaching them to hunt by understanding, not just by instinct. Each team will have one planetary rotation to complete the challenge, Zixtal continued. The behemoth must be captured intact, without significant damage. This is not a test of killing prowess, but of hunting excellence. The other competitors began preparing their predators. The HFY quantum swarm was programmed with new pursuit algorithms. The plasma snake underwent molecular restructuring to track phase-shifting prey. Every team had their own technological solution to the challenge. Sarah had something different. Trust built over years of working together, and a strategy that none of the other competitors would expect. Dawn broke over the artificial landscape, and the challenge began. The behemoth was released into the arena, immediately splitting into multiple shadow forms that scattered in different directions. The quantum swarm launched first, spreading out to cover multiple probability vectors simultaneously. The plasma snake followed, using its thermal sensing to track energy signatures. Sarah waited, watching as other predators charged into the hunt. Her pack remained still, observing. Some spectators began to murmur about Earth's hesitation. "Your primitive hunters seem reluctant to engage," the insectoid being commented. "Perhaps the challenge exceeds their capabilities." Sarah smiled. "They're not hesitating. They're learning." Indeed, while other predators chased the behemoth's decoys across the arena, her wolves were watching, understanding. Alpha's ears twitched as he tracked the movement patterns. Beta's nose worked the air currents. Each member of the pack was building their own piece of the puzzle. After 10 minutes of observation, Sarah gave a subtle hand signal. The pack moved out, but not in their usual hunting formation. Instead, they spread out in what seemed like random directions, each wolf taking a different position around the arena's periphery. An interesting strategy, Kovacs noted, his crystalline form shifting to curious colors. "Though spreading your forces so thin seems counterintuitive." "Watch," Sarah replied. The pack began to move, not toward the behemoth's current position, but toward where it would be. They weren't chasing the creature. They were predicting its movements, using their collective understanding of its patterns to slowly close a net around it. When the behemoth split into decoys again, the pack didn't fall for the deception. They'd learned to track the subtle differences in air current disruption that revealed the true form. While other predators wasted energy chasing phantoms, Sarah's wolves steadily tightened their circle. "Remarkable," Kovacs whispered. "They're not hunting by sight or scent alone. They're hunting by understanding." The true genius of their strategy became apparent as the hours passed. While other predators tired from constant pursuit, the pack maintained their steady pressure. They weren't trying to catch the behemoth, they were wearing it down mentally, making every escape route slightly more difficult, every hiding place slightly less secure. Sarah watched with pride as her wolves demonstrated everything she taught them about patience, about thinking beyond simple pursuit and capture. They were showing the galaxy that true hunting excellence wasn't about raw power or advanced technology. It was about understanding your prey so completely that the capture became almost inevitable. The breaking point came near dusk. The behemoth, exhausted from maintaining its phase-shifting defenses against the constant, intelligent pressure from the pack, made its first mistake. It tried to slip through what looked like a gap in the wolves' formation, only to find itself guided by subtle movements into a natural rock formation that limited its escape options. The pack closed in, not with the frenzied attack the other competitors expected, but with calm, coordinated precision. Each wolf knew exactly where to be, how to move, how to work with the others to contain without harming. When Alpha finally approached the cornered behemoth, it was almost anticlimactic. The great creature, understanding it had been outmaneuvered by superior strategy, surrendered without a struggle. The arena fell silent. The other competitors' predators were still chasing decoys or exhausted from failed capture attempts. Earth's primitive hunters had succeeded where the galaxy's most advanced evolutionary achievements had failed. How? The insectoid being asked, all four arms gesturing in confusion. They possess no advanced capabilities, no evolutionary advantages. That's where you're wrong, Sarah replied, watching as her pack calmly contained the behemoth. They possess the most advanced capability of all. The ability to think collectively while maintaining individual initiative. To understand not just the physical aspects of hunting, but the mental ones. Kvax's crystalline form had shifted to a deep blue of respect. We engineered our predators to be more powerful, more efficient killing machines. But you taught yours to think. Sarah nodded. Earth took a different path. Instead of creating ultimate predators, we created ultimate partners. The strength of our wolves isn't in their teeth or claws. It's in their minds and in their ability to work together with humans as equals. As the judges gathered to evaluate the final challenge, Sarah could see the revolution in thinking spreading through the gathered species. They had come expecting to see the limits of Earth's evolutionary achievement. Instead, they had witnessed something that challenged their entire understanding of what made a species truly advanced. The pack regrouped around her, tired but proud. They had proven that Earth's path, the path of cooperation, of turning predator and prey into partners, wasn't just different from the galactic standard. In many ways, it was superior. The Galactic Council's central chamber was silent as High Counselor Zixtol rose to deliver the exhibition's final judgment. The enormous amphitheater, usually filled with the subtle sounds of hundreds of species, held its collective breath. Sarah stood at the center with her pack, who remained perfectly composed despite the intense scrutiny of the assembled galactic representatives. For 10,000 cycles, Zixtol began, his iridescent scales catching the light. This exhibition has celebrated the apex of evolutionary achievement. We have witnessed plasma phase hunters that can survive stellar cores, quantum predators that exist in multiple realities, and beings that bend space itself to capture prey. He paused, his gaze sweeping across the chamber before settling on Sarah and her wolves. Today we must reconsider what we mean by evolutionary achievement. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Kvax, now seated among the senior judges, leaned forward, his crystalline form pulsing with anticipation. Earth's presentation, Zixtol continued, brought neither the most powerful predator nor the most technologically advanced hunter. Instead, they showed us something that, in our race to engineer the ultimate killing machines, we had forgotten to consider: the power of cooperation between species. Sarah felt Alpha press against her leg, a gesture of solidarity they'd shared countless times. Around them, the other wolves remained alert but relaxed, their very composure a demonstration of what Zixtol was describing. The Earth wolves demonstrated hunting efficiency equal to or surpassing our most advanced predators. But more importantly, they showed us something unprecedented in the exhibition's history: the ability to think collectively, to solve complex problems through cooperation rather than pure predatory power. Holograms appeared above the chamber, showing highlights from the competition: the pack coordinating to contain the plasma snake, their methodical strategy against the behemoth, the seamless integration of human direction with wolf instinct. We engineered our predators to be more lethal, Zixtol said, gesturing to the other competitors. Earth evolved something perhaps more remarkable: predators capable of forming genuine partnerships with what was once their prey. Their wolves don't just hunt efficiently, they hunt intelligently, combining instinct with strategy in ways our engineered hunters cannot match. The High Counselor descended from his platform to stand before Sarah and her pack. Dr. Chen, your demonstration has challenged our understanding of evolutionary excellence. While we sought to create ultimate predators, Earth developed ultimate partners. The implications of this achievement extend far beyond this exhibition. Sarah stepped forward. Earth's path was different, she acknowledged, but not because we were less advanced. We discovered that the true pinnacle of evolution isn't creating the perfect killer. It's creating the perfect partnership. Indeed. Zixtal's scales shifted to a color Sarah had never seen before. The Council has decided to create a new category of recognition. Earth's wolves will be acknowledged not just as efficient hunters, but as representatives of an evolutionary path we had not considered: the development of cross-species cooperative intelligence. The announcement triggered a wave of discussion throughout the chamber. Sarah could see the impact rippling through the assembled species, centuries of assumptions about evolutionary advancement being reconsidered in light of what they'd witnessed. Kovacs approached, his crystalline form glowing with respectful colors. "We thought Earth was behind us evolutionarily," he admitted. "Now we must consider that perhaps you were ahead all along, just on a different path." The ability to turn ancient predator-prey relationships into partnerships of equals. This is no small achievement. Sarah watched as several alien scientists cautiously approached her pack, their instruments recording the wolves' remarkable brain activity patterns, the complex social dynamics, the seamless integration of human and wolf thinking. The real breakthrough, Sarah explained to the gathering crowd, wasn't in changing their biology or engineering new capabilities. It was in recognizing that true evolutionary success isn't just about becoming a better killer. It's about becoming a better partner. Humans and wolves each brought their own strengths to the relationship. Together, we became something greater than either species could be alone. As if to demonstrate her point, one of the younger wolves spotted a small maintenance drone malfunctioning near the chamber's edge. Without any command, the pack smoothly organized itself to contain and retrieve the device, demonstrating the same careful coordination they'd used to capture the behemoth, but now applied to a helpful task. Extraordinary, breathed an alien scientist, their sensory tentacles waving in excitement. They adapt their hunting behaviors to non-hunting tasks automatically. They understand principles, not just patterns, Sarah explained. That's what makes them partners rather than just trained animals. They can apply their intelligence and coordination to any challenge. High Counselor Zixtal raised his hands for attention. Let this exhibition be remembered not just as a display of predatory power, but as the moment when the galaxy learned a crucial lesson from Earth. In our rush to engineer the ultimate predators, we overlooked something vital: the evolutionary advantage of cooperation between species. He turned to Sarah and her pack. Earth will have a permanent place on the Galactic Council's Biological Advisory Board. We have much to learn from your approach to evolution and development. As the chamber erupted in excited discussion, Sarah knelt beside Alpha, scratching behind his ears. Around them, her pack remained calm and dignified, living proof of what she'd been saying all along. Earth hadn't failed to develop super predators. They'd chosen a different, perhaps more profound path. They understand now, she whispered to Alpha, who looked at her with intelligent eyes, that the greatest strength isn't in standing alone, but in standing together. The exhibition had begun as a contest of predatory power. It had ended as a revelation about the true nature of evolutionary advancement. Earth's wolves hadn't just shown the galaxy a different kind of hunter, they'd shown them a different way of thinking about evolution itself. As Sarah prepared to return to Earth, she knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy had seen what was possible when species learned to work together as true partners. The age of engineered super predators was giving way to something new, an era of cooperation and shared intelligence that would change galactic society forever. And it had all started with a pack of wolves and the human who believed in them.